I've come to an old lake near my house in Wiltshire. I'm told by the owner there's carp in here. I don't know anything else about it. So really, I'm investigating. What I'm going to do is wander around, put some bait in, bit of boilie, maybe a little bit of pellet, see if I see any signs. This is more about the experience for me. I'm not here with multiple rods and bite alarms. I'm just going to fish the float and enjoy myself. I've got 2 days, limited hours, but even in that time, I can have a great adventure. So that is the plan. That's really important in winter and the colder months. You need to get a fix. If you're just sitting in a bivvy for days on end, well, certainly for me, I'd get bored. I'm just camping and I don't like that. And you can go out, even with carp fishing, if you find the right place, if you set the right target. You haven't got to set a target of a 40 pounder. If you set a target and your challenge is a 5 pounder, then that's great if you achieve it. You can go out with minimum tackle. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to get cold. The clothing these days keeps you warm. And I can be home for tea. Sounds like lazy man's fishing. Maybe it is, but that's what I enjoy, and that's what you should do, whatever you enjoy. So don't write off these months because there's plenty of adventures to be had. That's a good sign. Certainly say that. Moved in straight on this boilie. It's definitely fizzing there. I think the advantage of what I'm doing at the moment, which is float fishing, is you're far more observant. You know, it's so tempting when you put the bite alarms and the bolt rigs out. You're tempted by that phone. You're tempted to lay on your bed chair. Well, when you're float fishing, you have to focus on the water. You've got one rod, and I think that's important. There's not so much disturbance. How I'm fishing, I've just got very little weight on the line. I've just got a bit of peacock quill. It's hardly obtrusive. The carp will also approach the swim differently. When you're float fishing, firmly believe all fishing, they learn by association. So everyone, virtually, when they're fishing for carp, and especially in the colder months, they're putting lines through the water. When you're float fishing, your line's going across the top and straight down. So they've probably not seen that before on many carp lakes. So when they come in, they've got no reason. And I've seen it even with very, very big fish. If you put a line across the bottom with a lead, they know straight away. You put that float there and the line's coming down, and they're almost happy to touch it, knock it, because there's give. So it's not a taut line, they don't spook, it just gives because the float gives, and that's when you see the line bites. So there's many advantages to float fishing, even during the colder months. And be in no doubt, the carp aren't in always the deepest water when it's cold. They're probably more often than not in shallow water and maybe close into the banks, tucked in under snags. So yeah, don't write off float fishing. Don't think you can't get close to them in the winter. Well, he's not a monster, but that doesn't matter. It could be my first ever carp out of it. Could be. Come on, little fella. In you come. I think I'd caught bigger carp by the time I was 10, but it doesn't matter. No point having a photo. I've got the memory. Beautiful. Enjoyed that? It's definitely fish here. Definitely. One more go before I head for home. Do you know what? Wherever I put bait, they have just followed the sun. Taking something from modern carp angling, and I'll put PVA mesh back on. There you go. All winter carp fishing, cold weather carp fishing, you need to pick the right place. I will only fish waters where the carp will feed. I know that sounds obvious, but many people set themselves a challenge that they're never going to win. They've got limited time on a massive gravel pit with 4 carp in there or whatever it may be, and in reality, conditions against them, time is against them. It's just way too much. Surely that's got to move on that bait. What are they eating? Yep. Oh. Ah, lovely. Nice chunky mirror. Sparsely scoured as well. He was down there grubbing around. You know, and I said earlier, what the float does, it allows you to imagine what is happening, and that's why I love it. Ah, it's a nice fish. Come on. Ah. It's caught in brambles, but that is a lovely fish. And the fish gods haven't forsaken me. Fantastic. Just before I was thinking about going home, I've got this. Look at it. Chunky fella. Might be 20 pounds. Pleased with that. Look at that. Yeah, he's a chunky fella. And what a way to catch it on the float. I might have caught more fish bolt rigs, but would I have had any more fun? No, probably a lot less. It's a good day. Right, mate, that's fantastic. What a way to end the day. And I can get home for my tea. So I'm gonna put this carp back. Oh, plenty of strength. I'm gonna head for home and I'll be back tomorrow. Going float fishing with carp is not complicated. I'll start with the reel. It's a Scope 4000 and I've got 12-pound mono on it. The interesting bit, really though, comes down to the terminal tackle, I would say, and that starts with a float. I need a float if I'm going float fishing, and this is a peacock quill. Most people who float fish, they'll use shot either side. I don't in this situation. 2 reasons. If I put shot either side, I run the risk of damaging the line, and especially when you're playing a big fish, a very strong fish, I want to avoid that. But the main reason is this silicone here allows, if the float gets snagged, it allows the float then to just pop off and I'm in direct contact with the fish. And last but not least, I've got a size 7 hook on, and I want to hair rig the bait because I might be using a boilie or a pellet. So what I do when I'm at home, do it all before I've got down here, pre-tied ones. I just get a bit of braid, I whip it up the shank, tie the hair, and then I just super glue it. So when I come to fish, all I need to do is just tie it on and I can go again. I can change them at will, nice and easy. I like to prep everything at home, and especially when it's the colder months. I've got some PVA mesh bags down here. Why do you want to do anything when you've got cold fingers? It's easier if you do it all at home, bring it with you, and all you've got to look forward to is a lovely trip. Well, I'm back for day 2. I had so much fun. I just had to come and get another bite. I love float fishing. And it's looking pretty good. So fingers crossed I'll get that fix again. Try and source somewhere with a track record. If you're reading, it did 1 bite all winter and there was 20 anglers on there, then yeah, fine. If that's your bag, then go for it. But if you're just a normal weekend angler, that's insanity. And I said earlier, but set your goals to be realistic, and it's your goal. I keep saying this, but I want to get over, no one cares what you catch, no one cares what I catch. Ultimately, it's your experience, it's your moment, it's your challenge. So if you've set a challenge to go down the canal and they're feeding down there and you want to get 20 out of the canal in winter, you catch that, that's as good as catching a 40 pounder for someone else. It means what it means to you. So don't go over the top with your challenge. Don't push it too far. Set something that you're happy with, and that's what really matters. Yep. Oh, I'm sure it's not very, well, it's reasonable, but it's not huge, and I've caught things 4 or 5 times bigger, but I'm just as excited, honestly. It's so strong for its size. So strong. Someone tell me this ain't great fun. Look at it. Whoa! There we go. This is it. I thought. I don't want to do anything rash now. Turn it over. Yes. That has truly made my day. Do you know what? Almost made this, well, it didn't almost, it did make this more fun because it was more of a challenge. And that's what I suggest you do with the colder months to come. Set yourself a challenge. It doesn't matter if it's this big or 30 pounds. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. And I can honestly say that was great fun.